The Secrets of Pompeii, a city frozen in time. Prologue. In 79 AD, Pompeii was a vibrant city of commerce, culture, and pleasure, nestled at the foot of Mount Vesuvius. The streets echoed with the sounds of merchants, children playing, and the hum of daily life. But all that changed in a day. A volcano that had been silent for centuries erupted with a fury that buried Pompeii and its people beneath layers of ash, forever freezing the city in time. Chapter 1. The City Before the Storm. Pompeii was more than just a city. It was a reflection of Roman society at its peak. Statues of gods adorned public squares, the scent of fresh bread and fish filled the markets, and the laughter of citizens echoed from open-air taverns. Wealthy families lived in grand villas with frescoes that told stories of their prosperity, while the poorer citizens inhabited crowded insulae, the apartment buildings that rose 3 or 4 stories above the ground. Titus, a young Roman historian, arrives in Pompeii with his mentor, Marcus, to document the city's lifestyle for future generations. The two men visit the famous amphitheater, the Grand Forum, and the baths that were central to the Roman way of life. As Titus becomes more enamored with the city's beauty and intricacy, he begins to feel a deep connection to its people and their stories. Chapter 2. The Omen. In the days leading up to the eruption, there were signs. A strange smell in the air, the ground trembling slightly, and a few odd omens in the form of animals behaving strangely. Despite the warnings, Pompeii continued its daily rhythm, and people paid little attention to the growing unease in the earth beneath them. Titus and Marcus visit a villa on the outskirts of a city owned by a wealthy merchant family, the Octavians. Here, Titus meets Aurelia, the young daughter of the family, who shares with him her hopes for the future. As their friendship deepens, Titus learns more about the personal lives of Pompeii's citizens and their concerns. But the ground continues to shake, and in the middle of the night, a violent tremor wakes everyone in the city. The earth moans in agony. Chapter 3. The Eruption. The eruption of Mount Vesuvius began with a violent explosion, sending ash and pumice high into the sky. For hours, the people of Pompeii remained unaware of the full scale of the disaster unfolding above them. It wasn't until the sky darkened and a heavy rain of ash began to fall that panic set in. The once beautiful city was quickly becoming a tomb. Titus and Marcus, alongside Aurelia and her family, rushed to the city's gates, hoping to escape to the countryside. But the roads are clogged with people, all trying to flee in desperation. The ash falls thicker, and the heat from the eruption begins to scorch the earth. Marcus, realizing they won't make it out, insists they seek shelter in the home of a friend who lives on higher ground. But as they make their way through the streets, the first surge of pyroclastic flow descends from the volcano. It engulfs the city in a terrifying wave of heat, ash, and poisonous gases. Titus and Aurelia are separated in the chaos. Chapter 4. The City Left Behind. The next morning, the eruption subsides, leaving a thick, suffocating blanket of ash over the city. The streets are eerily silent. Pompeii, once a thriving hub of Roman life, is now a frozen monument to a civilization lost in time. Titus, surviving the eruption, returns to Pompeii many years later as part of an expedition to excavate the city. He is now an older man with a wealth of knowledge and experience. His connection to the city and its people has never faded, and he is determined to uncover the stories of the lives that were extinguished in that fateful day. As the archaeologists carefully begin their work, they discover a remarkable scene. Perfectly preserved bodies encased in the ash, frozen in their final moments of life. Titus finds the remains of a family, the Octavians, their last moments recorded in the layers of volcanic material. Aurelia's body is found in a corner of their villa, clutching a small amulet in her hand, a token from the gods that had been given to her by her mother. Titus reflects on the lives that were lost, the stories that were never told, and the civilization that once stood proud, now buried under centuries of ash. The secrets of Pompeii lie not only in its artifacts and ruins, but also in the memories of those who lived, loved, and perished there. Epilogue. Pompeii's rediscovery in modern times brings the city back to life in a way, though the people are long gone. The city, once frozen in time, now reveals its secrets to those who are willing to listen. As Titus walks through the ruins, he is reminded of the fragility of life and the importance of remembering the past. The eruption of Mount Vesuvius may have erased Pompeii from history, but its story, like the story of Rome, the empire that built it, remains eternal.